Welcome everybody to our 1101 composition, half of the term. My name is Mr. Volpe. I'll be with you guys throughout the whole term. The 1101 half, which is our first 9 weeks, and then following that, the 1102 half. So the 1101 half is going to be mostly based on essay composition, constructing logically coherent essays, whether it be our first type, which is narrative, for which you are to basically, in a way, tell a story about a particularly meaningful event in your life. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. That won't be due until the end of the second week. But just keep in mind that you are going to want to start thinking about that because it's your first essay assignment. And that is going to be worth about 15% of your overall course grade there. So be thinking of that topic. Let that be swimming in your head over the first week or so. But in terms of the first week, go ahead and check out the announcement in Blackboard. I basically guide you all through what I expect from this first week, and I'll do this at the outset of every week. You'll have an announcement, and it'll be accompanied by its companion piece, a video by yours truly. So this week's announcement, you have, I believe, a list of 4 things to do. I want you guys to get familiar with the Blackboard shell, with the course shell here, and look on the left side of your screen when you're in Blackboard, and you'll see the textbook, the handbook, the 1101 reader. So those are our 3 e-texts, electronic texts. So the textbook and the reader are what we're going to be working with on a weekly basis. The textbook kind of gets into the, it's actually a section, a chapter 3, the modes of discourse, okay? What I am referring to as the essay types, the first of which being the narrative. And in chapter 3, in the textbook, you'll see the section on narrative, narration. And for this week, I have you guys completing 2 exercises in that section in the textbook titled Successful College Composition, which will be abbreviated as SCC here on out. So just realize that, and I think that's on the syllabus too, SCC. And then the reader textbook, I think I've abbreviated as reader. Okay, so, and speaking of the reader, that's another assignment that you'll have not due by this week, but due by the following Wednesday. Okay, so not this Wednesday, but a week from Wednesday, the 29th. So I'll post the discussion questions for the assignments, the readings that I have in the reader. They are 2 selections, one by George Orwell entitled Shooting an Elephant, and then one by Bonnie Smith Yackle entitled My Mother Never Worked. And you could find those 2 readings in the reader book. Okay, also in the narration section of the reader book. That's where those 2 will be. Excuse me, and I will be giving you guys discussion questions in Blackboard Wednesday, this Wednesday, the 22nd, probably around noon or so. So be on the lookout for those, and once you have those, you have from then the 22nd to the 29th in which to answer the discussion questions I will provide you. So 2 things so far. We have the exercises in SCC, Successful College Composition. That's already set up. That will be due Sunday, the 26th. You will then have discussion questions to the 2 reading selections I just outlined for you by this Wednesday, the 22nd, and those will be due the following Wednesday, the 29th. And in addition, this week, we instructors have to make sure that you all are actively engaged in Blackboard. So what we do is we submit what is known as a no-show assignment. And what this is, it's a means of professors to make sure you're in the course, that you're present. It's basically an attendance assignment, if you want to look at it that way. But if you don't complete the no-show assignment, which is there in Blackboard, it's a discussion board. On the article I had you all read, I believe Miss Evans let you all have a sneak peek about a week or so ahead of our class starting here. The writer's name is Faith Moore, and she wrote an article, I believe it's 2016, on Disney princesses and what seems to be the modern day feminist reaction against the Disney princess. So for your discussion board, the no-show assignment, I do rather expect you to have read that essay, and then all you're going to do is follow the instructions and the discussion board. I believe I ask you to identify what you believe her thesis to be. We should know what a thesis is, hopefully. That is the statement of the author's main idea, and it is an argumentative statement, meaning it could be argued. You might not think it's true, I might not think it's true, but the writer states it as though it is a truth, okay? And that's how you're going to kind of frame all your theses, your thesis statements from here on out. It is you propounding this truth to the world, okay, whatever it is. And we'll get into more of that with the beginning of next week's video, and when you guys are actually working on your narrative, I'll be a little more explicit about that. But in the Faith Moore piece, in the Disney movie Princesses feminism piece, what is her main point? What's her thesis? And once you've identified that, does she say it outright? Does she have a single statement, an explicit thesis statement? Or is it something implied? Is it implicit? Meaning it might not be something that she says outright, but she's being highly suggestive of a thesis, of a main point. She might not be stating it word for word what it is, but she's kind of maybe nudging you, the reader, like, hey, I might not be telling you exactly what I think, but you could probably deduce from reading that I do have a main point. What is it? So identify that for me, and then you are going to give points of support. What are her supporting details that she uses in defending her thesis statement, her explicit or implicit thesis statement? Okay, and this is what you guys are going to be doing for all of your essays: narrative, descriptive, persuasive, argumentative. You're going to be stating what you see as a truth, a fact, as it were, and then you are going to be, in each paragraph, giving support to that thesis statement. Okay, each of your body paragraphs, or everything that you write essay-wise, will contain supporting details. Okay, so what is that in hers? And then I think the third thing I ask is, well, do you agree or not? Do you agree with her assessment of feminist reaction to Disney movie princesses? What do you think? Do you agree with what she's saying? Do you not agree with what she's saying? And why? Why do you agree or disagree? So you're posting that in the discussion forum, and you guys will see that for discussion forums from here on out, to get full credit, it's not enough for you just to state, just for you to answer the forum questions. Of course, you need to do that. But you also, to get full credit, you have to engage at least one other student's post. Okay, so one of your other classmates, you need to engage him or her respectfully, of course. I mean, you could be engaged with fervor and energy, as it were, but let's, as with all things, let's be as respectful and civil as we can. Shouldn't be a problem, of course, but you do have to engage that other student to get a full 100%. If at any point you do, in any of these discussion forums, just give me your post, the best you're going to get is a B. I think an 85B is the top thing you're going to get. So you're leaving 15 points on the table if you choose not to engage one of your fellow students. Okay? So that's what we got for this week. The three things: the exercises in SCC, the questions that are forthcoming as of this Wednesday pertaining to the George Orwell and Bonnie Smith Yackle pieces, which are in your reader. There's reading selections. You're also doing the no-show discussion forum, and you're also kind of thinking about what you might want to write for your own narrative, okay? Now, how our essays look in this class, you guys can go in Blackboard. There is a paper format attachment. There's also a netiquette and ground rules attachment. You're advised to read that as well. But for the paper format, everything is going to be nice and predictable and uniform. Every essay that I get from you will look how everything is laid out on that paper format attachment. Everything's Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spaced. You have an MLA heading, upper left-hand corner of your page, upper right-hand corner of each page, your last name, the corresponding page number. Microsoft Word or some analogous word processor. Okay, so that is how things should look. Now, in terms of planning your essay, I could go into more detail on that. I probably will next week. An aside, just real quick, these videos are going to be capped at no more than 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm at about 11 minutes, so I need to wrap up soon. So I'll give you more about the planning, drafting for the narrative essay next week, but you can look at how to draft a narrative, in any essay for that matter, in your textbook. So in the SEC textbook, the first 2 chapters having to do with the writing process and a general introduction, those are there to kind of get your gears turning, get your feet wet with pre-writing, drafting, outlining, brainstorming. So I'm counting on you all to be doing all of that on your own. I'm not necessarily checking up on you to make sure that you are doing these pre-writing things. That's you to do for your own benefit. I am looking at the finished product, okay? The essay. You will have an opportunity to give me any rough drafts for this narrative essay. Probably start accepting those maybe at the beginning of next week. So if you send one of those to me this week, I might not give you feedback on it this week. But be thinking about what you might want to write for your narrative. The topic being a particularly life-changing moment, okay? So an example is you haven't seen your father for 15 years, and you're at home, dinner's almost ready, and you're about to sit with your mom and your brother and sister, and the door opens. Who is it? After 15 years, it's Dad. Okay? There's a starting point. There's a little writing prompt for you, if you will. Okay? So what happens? Okay? That's what I want for that narrative essay. I want to know what happened, okay? And the essays are going to be pretty short, about 2 pages each essay, narrative, descriptive, persuasive, argumentative. The final essay, the research essay, is going to be, of course, a little more than 2 pages, but I'm expecting at the bare minimum a page and a half. 2 pages is the sweet spot, okay? So it's about 5 paragraphs. Introduction, about 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion, okay? So guys, I know this might have seemed a little all over the place and scattershot, but I'm just trying to key in on everything I want you guys to know about for this first week, give a general introduction of myself, and I'm perfectly willing to sprinkle in more biography throughout these videos, get you guys a little more acquainted with who you're talking to and who your teacher is. Okay, that is moi, yours truly, and of course Miss Evans there is there as well, and she and I, this is our third, I believe our 3rd or 4th semester working together, and she's awesome. I can't say enough great things about Miss Evans, and I'm so happy that she's back and that we're working in tandem again to help you guys succeed. So that's all I have to say, folks. Welcome to 1101 Fall 2018. Mr. Volpe here, and man, I'm excited. Okay, I hope you guys are too. So have a good week, and email me, guys, if you have any questions at all. Do not hesitate. Let me know. Okay, bye everybody. See you next week with a new video.